continue today with Kosher Kitchen, and we start with Sefer Shmiras Haloshon, and our topic is light and contentment. Hill used to say, if I'm not for myself, who will be for me? The spiritual world is not like this world of business, where one can rely on trusted workers to do his work for him. The term myself refers to one's soul, which is nourishment only through one's efforts in the spheres of the Torah and Mitzvot. Hill is saying, if I will not extend my efforts for my soul's sake, then who will nourish me in the light of contentment, right? With light and contentment. These are not things that can be purchased. They can be attained only through one's toil in the striving. And Hill continues, the spiritual realms is unlike the physical one, where the highly skilled craftsman can earn livelihood working in a few hours a day. Okay. The Mishnah says elsewhere, the day is short and the task is abandoned. It's from hours to 20. Thus does Hill say, and if I'm not for myself, what am I? If I were to dedicate my every moment to myself, that is for my soul's benefit. That's for myself, right? Could I claim with a certainty that I have done enough to earn the earth eternal life in the world to come? The Talmud relates that when the sage Mar Ukva examined his impressive charity records before his death, he reflected, the way is long, but the provisions are small. It's from Kedushas Ksubas 67b. Thus, man of wisdom will dedicate every available moment toward the service of his Creator. Okay, sorry. Okay, so let's start from the beginning, and we're going to explain. I mean, we'll learn it in some other book. I'm not sure where was it. Maybe it was. I'm just guessing. Maybe it was in the introduction to Shabbos Home. But like some things are very, very similar. Okay, but it's like classic Musar. Okay, so it should be similar. Again, Hill used to say, if I'm not for myself, who will be for me? Right? So that's a classic verse. Like nobody's going to do your job, basically. Like sometimes a person wants he wants to do, she wants to do, they need inspiration. Okay, I can inspire, I can remind, but after some time I just getting tired. Like if you're not performing, you just make a simple empty statements. Okay, I'm not going to would not be able to help you, basically, right? So a person must be for himself or herself, right? Meaning push themselves. The spiritual world is not like the world of business, but one can rely on trusted workers to do his work for him, right? So in the world of business, you can invest, right? You can invest, you buy stocks, you buy bonds, you can invest in real estate, right? And have somebody taking care of it, and let's say they get 20%, 40%, whatever share they get, but you can go get by without working in this world, right? So that's but in the world to come, it's not going to work like that, right? The term, right? So you need to prepare yourself. You need to study Torah yourself. The term myself refers to one's soul, which is nourished only through his own efforts in the sphere or the Torah and Mitzvahs, right? So the term myself refers to one's soul, which nourished through one's own efforts of Torah and Mitzvah. So one owns, meaning that you cannot buy that. Meaning that people think that they can sponsor somebody in the call. Yeah, they're going to get all the rewards, but still, HaShem expects us also, all of these rich people who think that they can buy the ticket in the Olam Haba. Not so easy, right? First of all, they have to eliminate all of the negative traits. They have to stop with the sins. Otherwise, yeah, they're going to be successful, very successful in this world, because Hashem has to pay them. But in the world to come, there is nothing. Maybe it's even gain on, right? It's very, very important. So a person is obligated to learn Torah, doesn't matter how charitable he is, and then fulfill the Torah, right? But in order to fulfill the Torah, he must learn the Torah, what to fulfill. Hill is saying, if I will not extend the efforts for my soul's sake, then who will nourish it with the light and contentment, right? So if I'm not going to do it, and light and contentment is a reward for us performing in this world, right? Who is going to do it for me? Nobody, right? These are not the things that can be purchased, right? So I mean, some mitzvahs you can purchase, but not this, right? Because they can attain only through one's own toil and striving. So to enjoy it, to enjoy it in the world to come. And Hill continues, the spiritual realm is unlike physical one, where highly skilled craftsmen can earn the livelihood of working a few hours a day, right? Right, and he also said that in this world, right? Just because you see somebody who is not working, like every day they go to work, like today many people work from home, but in olden days, right? You have to go somewhere, you have to do something. All right, so one of the possibilities, right, that person has investment, right, somebody working for him. Another possibility, he's a skilled craftsman, he's a diamond cutter, and that's it, right? So, and he makes his living very, very simple. Right, we said that 2 days ago, right? I mean, he just continues, right? So very simple, right? But work and enough money for him to support himself, to support his family, but it's not going to work in a spiritual realm, right? As Mishnah says elsewhere, the day is short and the task is abandoned. Right? The day is short, and you look at your library. So everybody have library, even maybe not complete collections, but still single books, right? And I look at my library, and sometimes I get a little upset, depressed, not depressed, but a little upset. There are so many books. I'm trying to hold myself back, not to buy extra books, right? Because if you buy too many extra books and you keep them unread, so they're going to testify against you. How come? If you were poor, were not able to afford books, that's one thing. But if you were like a middle class, or you were able to buy yourself books and you did not read, they stood on a shelf collecting dust. That's the problem. These books that people who buy books that don't read, they kitruk against them, right? It's a prosecution against them from these books. How come? Right? How come you were watching TV? How come you were reading all of these stupid emails? How come that? How come this? You understand? So the day is short and task is abandoned. So why you postponing starting these books? That's why after these books, I have a next plan. I already bought a new book that we're going to learn, Beezrat HaShem. It's not split by days. It's not split almost at all. So we'll need to figure out how to split it, right? So it's not easy, but we'll figure out. Beezrat HaShem. Does the healer say? And if I'm for myself, what am I? Right? So what am I? So meaning what? If I were to decide dedicate my every moment to myself, right? So meaning, what does it dedicate every moment to myself? So people today think that to relax, but myself is what that for the soul's benefit. So a person's essence is his soul, not the physical body. Right? Could I claim certainly that have done enough, right, to earn the eternal life in the world to come, right? Even if I say so, is it true? Like maybe I had extra time, maybe I had to squeeze other times from useless conversation, from some things, hobbies. Some people have hobby, some people exercise too much. If a person exercises and listens to Torah class, there is no problem, right? At least they can compensation, they can concentrate on the Torah class. But if they just exercise, just do useless activities, how are you going to explain that yourself? The Talmud relates that when the sage Mar Ukva examined his impressive charity records, before his death, he reflected, the way is long, but the provisions are small. Right? So as our sages compared this world to a sheep, right? To a sheep that is going to sell. So meaning whatever you provision you prepare for sale, you're going to have. Otherwise, that's it. There's nothing you can get like water or meat or bread in the middle of the water or of the sea, right? So we have to prepare as much as possible. But he said the journey is long, but provision is small. Thus, man of wisdom will dedicate every available moment toward the source of his creator, right? Because we know the reward is huge, and to waste our time is simply it's not forgivable, right? Even by ourselves. When a person would see what he could have achieved if he would do a little more, he would be very, very sorry. Okay, stop here. 1 second, let me see if I have any questions. Okay, I think no question. Okay, so we got up to, let's do a quick overview. Okay, and it's chapter 14 and section 3, and our topic is we started but did not finish. Which materials may be kashered, right? And we say the metal, right? 6 types of metals from directly from the Torah: gold, silver, copper, iron, tin, and lead, right? So other like more modern poskim, they add aluminum. Earthenware utensils, we said they absorb, cannot be kosher in many times. Wood and stone, right? So about wood and stone, it's very interesting. So they not mentioned, right, in the Torah explicitly. So our sages assume that they can be koshered. Okay, glass. We said glass utensils. We said the glass utensils is possible to kosher because they're hard, they're smooth, and they, in some sense, we say they remind, very similar to metal. So from metal you can melt it and reconstruct whatever you want. So same with the glass, you can melt and do whatever you want, right? And okay. So continue. So now we got up to the section. So we're in the section of glass, right? And we're up to the step number 4, subsection 4, Kashering Glass Utensils. Okay, we cited the opinion of many poskim that glass utensil may be kosher in a manner similar to other utensils. Okay, glass utensils used with hot food are kosher with the same manner as the metal utensils. Exactly, right? As we said, which is good. Hot food. So hot food, it's like, I would say, like Pyrex, right? Well, in Pyrex you can bake in the oven. I think it withstands like 450 degrees, maybe 500. So meaning very, very tough material, right? So and you can kosher it, right? While those who use for this cold food are merely washed thoroughly, right? So if I don't know, like fruit waste or something, right? Only with cold food you can just wash it. However, there is a unique manner of kashering that is sometimes used for glass utensil called Miluy V'Iruy. Okay, filling and pouring. So Iruy, we say Iruy like pouring from the kettle, right? From urn, hot water urn into our coffee. So that's we say this stream is called Iruy. Okay, right. So this and actually they say, I'm not sure they say sometimes, we actually use it all the time, right? This method is used for utensils that are normally used only for cold liquids. Commentary. Even utensils that normally contain liquids even for a period more than 24 hours may be kashered with Miluy V'Iruy. So it's very big leniency, right? We said before that if you leave something like soaking for more than 24 hours, this utensil is going to absorb the taste. Okay, so here it says yes, it's going to absorb the taste, as we said before, but still you can kosher. So you just pour cold water, let it clean, of course, clean, completely clean. Pour cold water, let it stand 24 hours, and then replace water 2 times, right? So altogether 3 times you do that. Okay, so the whole sentence again. This method is used for utensils that are normally used only for cold liquids, but may have contained non-kosher liquids for the period of 24 hours. For example, drinking glass that may have been used for non-kosher wine and left standing with wine residue, right? So it's possible that, on Shabbos, right? So we do the same. We drink wine, and then we leave the glasses after to wash after Shabbos. Sometimes Motzei Shabbos, sometimes like in summer nights, so we do Sunday morning. So for sure, these glasses were standing with residue for more than 24 hours, for sure. So say it's not unusual that people who if they used to eat not kosher, they have the same issue. So, but the leniency is that it's not the leniency. I apologize. It's a law. The law is. It's not the leniency. So the law is that in this case you can even in this case, even they were standing for 24 hours since it was cold, no problem. It was glass, so we can use this caution procedure, which is amazing. Thus, according to the stricter opinion cited in one above, one who purchased used glass pitcher and drinking glasses from a non-Jew could kosher them with Miluy V'Iruy, right? And to do tevila kelim afterwards, right? So again, so I think I'm going to describe. I'm not sure if they're going to describe. I mean, but we said that we described before. You fill up, you clean, fill up, put in some kind of tray or something in a plate or something, right? You fill up like so it's overflowing with the cold water, right? And after 24 hours you fill up again, you spill and fill up again, like after a period of 24 hours. So if you kept it for 2 days, it's still considered to be 24 hours. And you do 3 times, and then you have to tovel it. Tovel meaning you dip in the mikveh and you say blessing, right on you say blessing. So technically, if somebody had these wine glasses that they were used for a non-kosher wine or non-kosher whatever beverages, for sure they can reuse it, they kasher it, or you can buy from a non-Jew. Right, I think I said we bought one beautiful piece, decanter. We call it decanter, right? From internet. It's unbelievable. I mean, is it used? I mean, for sure it was used, but the hole is tiny. Maybe I don't know, like 1 inch, maybe less than 1 inch, maybe 3/4 inches, or tiny. Right, tiny. Like for sure it was only water there. I mean, we also use for water, but for sure it was only water because it's impossible to wash it. It's not straight, it's like a beautiful form. So that's, yeah. So, and technically we can buy a used one if we want, of course. Continue. Okay, A. Miluy V'Iruy is done in the following manner. The glass utensils, okay, are scrubbed thoroughly to remove any non-kosher residue. So that's for sure. So even right, so even they were not used, right? They were not used. They were standing in the cabinet. So we still tell people to wash them. So before the people who wants to go kosher, we still instruct them to wash them. Right? So you start anew. Okay, so even they were not used for 24 hours, they little dust, it doesn't matter. Just start with washing. A bottle with a narrow opening should not be koshered since it is difficult to clean it thoroughly. Okay, but as I say in my case, in the counter that since it was nothing than the water, for sure. If they would put the wine, they would not be able to clean it, to wash, for sure. There is no way. Right, so it's very, very simple. Okay. But, okay. Continue. A glass utensil is filled with to the brim with water and placed into another container filled with water so that the glass is completely filled in submerged in water. One who wishes to kasher many dishes can submerge all of them in a bathtub. I think it's not a good idea, but because they might fall. But I would say in some kind of some kind of like pot, like I would say yes. Okay. It is usually helpful to place large flat rubber topper over the drain. Okay. To prevent the slow seepage of the tub water. Okay. So, but let's say we're not going to this opinion crazy. So it's very interesting. He's saying that you have to submerge like from inside and from outside. So like put it under the water. Very interesting. I mean that's what it means. In glass utensils filled with brim water are placed in another container filled with water, so the glass is completely filled and submerged in the water. Not completely. It's very interesting. So we were doing like differently. We were koshering like only inside, because usually there is no food outside. Nobody's drinking from outside. You drink from inside. So, but I think if it says there, so yeah, it's proper. I would say follow this opinion. So that's would be for sure. Like I would say, take a pot, right, filled with water. Put the glasses on the bottom, right, and make sure they're filled completely. Okay, so the water so the water is going to be inside and outside. If you put it in a bathtub, it's only a matter of time that they're going to fall, I think. Okay, continue. After the glass soaks for at least 24 hours, the water in a glass in a container is discarded, and glass is containing refilled with the fresh water. Right, so meaning you don't have to dry them, you don't have to wait, you can do right away. After soaking another 24 hours, the process is repeated. Once the glass is soaked for 3 separate 24 hours intervals, the glass container is kosher. Right. So basically, right. So as we see, somebody have a candy dish or something, so or a sugar dish. So of course there is most likely there was nothing bad there, right? But maybe you washed it with a sponge or something that would do something else. So that's why we prefer to kasher. Okay, even like don't leave anything out. Kasher everything, especially glass. It's so simple. Why don't you do it? Okay. The 3 soaking need not to be consecutive. For example, one may soak the glass utensil for 24 hours once on Sunday, second times on Wednesday, and third time on the following week. Okay, so that's a big leniency. Okay, I'm not sure, maybe person was busy, but I would say if you have any opportunity that do not delay. You have chance to do it now, do it now. Okay. If the water was not changed between the soaking, even if the utensil was soaked for many days, it is one soaking, right? So if person left in this pot or this bathtub, so with that stops, I'm not sure how it's going to work out. The person has to take a shower or something. So with the pot, I think it's easier. And plus, like who have all this so many like glasses? I don't know. Okay. So, but it's the thing is clear. So even if you left it there for 1 week, it's still considered as one day. And B, and it says when Miluy V'Iruy is effective. Okay. So we said, how is it effective? Again, so somehow I was following an opinion, and there is also a strong opinion. Don't remember where is it from, but we were kashering only inside, But here, I would say, so even though I was responding when somebody asked me to the way I was taught to kasher only from inside. So I think we have to start doing this like from inside and outside. Okay. So, but if somebody already did kasher his or her glasses, so no need to redo, because there is a very strong opinion to do as was saying. But this, I guess it's better. Okay. So section B, subsection. When Miluy V'Iruy is effective, Miluy V'Iruy is effective only on glass utensils that were used with cold liquids. So candy dish, maybe it's not going to work for a 24 hours period. Not utensil that was used with the heat. So I guess with the liquids, but if it were used like, if you're talking about candy dish or sugar dish, sugar, like, most likely it's kosher. Most likely nothing was there beside the sugar. Right. So in this case, and it's glass, I guess we can only wash it and that's it. Okay. So again, this procedure work only for cold liquids, not utensils used with heat. Miluy V'Iruy may not be used to kasher glass utensil in which actual non-kosher liquids was stored for 24 hours period. Stored. It is used for only for utensil that used for storing non-kosher wines. It is used only for utensils used for storing non-kosher wines or kosher Pesach utensils in which chametz liquid was stored for 24 hours. Okay, I'm not sure what's the thing, but let's see one more time. So this procedure, Miluy V'Iruy, may not be used to kasher glass utensil in which actual non-kosher liquid was stored for a 24-hour period. Okay. So meaning in this, in our case that we gave after the dinner, you would not wash these things right away. So basically, if somebody left a cup, like half a cup of wine, right, half a glass of wine, and you did not spill it, so that would be a problem. Let's say if that wine was not kosher, right? Glass utensil, non-kosher liquid was stored more than for 24 hours period. It is used only for kashering, only for utensils used for storing non-kosher wines or kosher Pesach utensils, or for kashering, not kashering Pesach utensils, in which chametz liquids was stored for 24 hours. Okay. I mean, I apologize. Let me see the commentary. To me, it's contradiction. Okay, I apologize. One more time. Miluy V'Iruy may not be used to kasher the glass utensils in which actual non-kosher liquid was stored for 24 hours period. Oh, I apologize. So non-kosher liquid, I don't know, like a blood or something. Let's say blood. Let's make it clear. It is used only for utensil that used for storing non-kosher wines. So non-kosher wines meaning, here we go. Non-kosher wines, as we learned before, or I did not learn, I don't remember, but I think we did learn about non-kosher wines. So most of them there is no problem whatsoever, right? So after the fact, so that there is no problem. They were not used for idol worshiping, this and that. Okay. So that's why we get this leniency, and we can kosher our glasses if they were used even for non-kosher wines, and if they were used for chametz, right? For chametz liquid. What is chametz liquid? Beer, whiskey, or something, right? So if they had a beer, like somebody did not finish beer, and it was standing for 24 hours, even 72 hours. Right, which is a problem, but in this case you can still kosher in this way, right? So So there is no contradiction. Right? Only if it was like clearly other non-kosher liquids. So besides the blood, what other non-kosher liquids? I don't know. Okay, but there are non-kosher liquids. Okay, so commentaries say Shach and Yorak Daya 135:33. Sides Mishnah Brura 451:18. 118. Shach posits that Paskim permitted Miluy V'Iruy only for utensils in which non-kosher wine was stored because soaking water weakens the taste. Right. So even the taste was absorbed. So now with soaking water, it's like absorb the taste. Okay. Similarly, they permit it for chametz, since at the time when utensils absorb chametz taste, the chametz was not yet prohibited. So yes, I want to kasher these glasses for Pesach, right? But and we're going to, according to Ashkenazic tradition, the taste was absorbed. According to Sephardic tradition, they say that it's like too hard. The glass is very hard and very smooth, and that's why it is not absorbing, right? But according to Ashkenazic, it is. But even if it was absorbed, you can weaken the taste through the water. And plus, chametz, like beer, right? Beer was not prohibited at the time. So there is it's not like prohibited substance, right? It is permitted at the time, but now it is forbidden to us. I mean, it's going to be forbidden on Pesach. So only, again, if you only want to use these glasses on Pesach. If I have different glasses, so I don't have to kasher them. So I just wash them thoroughly, nicely, put it aside, put it in a cabinet, kitchen cabinet, close it, and put a tape. I always recommend to put tape. You know how many times during the Pesach, like I try to open the drawer. I don't know, many times, because that's what you used to do, right? So you're thinking about something else, and you need a teaspoon to mix your coffee, and guess what? You automatically, your hand is it's going like going when where you get we're getting the spoons all year round. You understand? So it's proper to put a tape, some things like we put like, what is it? This a blue tape, right? This paper tape. So it would be like a great reminder not to touch it, right? But there you just all the utensils that we store there, not kosher Pesach, they just clean. We don't have to kosher them. Next, in the previous times, it was common to kosher glass for Pesach with Miluy V'Iruy. However, since the glasses are inexpensive, today Miluy V'Iruy should initially be not done to kasher chametz to Pesach if other glasses are available. So today it's not right. Today it's not such a big deal. I mean, these glasses. I mean, unless you want like some fancy schmancy, very expensive, they're very cheap, right? I mean, right? You go to discount store, you buy very cheap. When an expensive one, they're going to be expensive, of course. So okay, so now we're going to practical summary of Kashering glass. So again, the Ashkenazic tradition is much stricter, right? And we require a person to have 2 drinking cups. So if you want to drink, coffee with milk, so and then you cannot use the same cup for iced tea, and drink this iced tea with your steak or chicken. Okay, practical summary Kashering glasses. According to Ashkenazi custom, one should preferably not use the same drinking glass for meat and dairy meals. Right. Sephardic custom permits use the drinking glass for both meat and dairy if they are washed between the uses. Of course, I mean, right, even. Right. So because again, there's difference of opinion. They say it's not absorbed. The taste is not absorbed. So if you wash it, was some residue from you drinking this coffee with the cream, right? You just wash it and no problem, right? But according to Ashkenazi custom, preferably not to. And but I don't know anybody. It's not like I know many Ashkenazim, but I never heard that Ashkenazi would use the same cup. Continue. According to Ashkenazi custom, one must kosher and towel any glass utensils purchased from a non-Jew. Right, so whenever you purchase from non-Jew, and of course, like if it's like a person who wants to buy crystal glasses, like fancy schmancy crystal, right? So that's and you can buy from a non-Jew. So people you usually use it for a special occasion, and when somebody like they want to sell it, they would sell it pretty cheap, right? And it's good condition, right? So Ashkenazi custom one my kosher. Kasher, as we described, because most likely it was used for wine only. These wine glasses, champagne, whatever they were using there, right? First non-Jew. Sephardic Jew may purchase glass utensils from a non-Jew and use them after thoroughly scrubbing and tevilah. Okay, so Sephardic Jews, again, the difference in approach. They say this forbidden taste is not being absorbed, so they can just buy it, wash it with the soap nicely, right? I guess let it stand for 24 hours just in case, or wash it, let it stand 24 hours, dip in the mikveh, and you're good. Okay. So continue. One may purchase from a non-Jew used glass utensils that are normally used only for cold liquids, and Kasher is when Miluy V'Iruy. So like there's such a thing like iced tea glasses. So iced tea glasses, they always has like a leg. So that's how we know it's for iced tea, right? So that's it. I mean, people don't drink tea, don't drink hot I don't know, chicken soup from this glass. It's only for iced tea, for juices, punches, or right. So that's for these things. The glass is scrubbed thoroughly and remove any non-kosher residue, and then filled with a brim of water, submerged in a container filled with water. So again, whatever we were learning before, if whatever you people kosher before, they let it stand. There is no problem, as I said before, as I said today. Still there is such opinion, but I would say from going forward, I think we should adopt this stricter opinion and cover this water from inside and outside. After soaking for at least 24 hours, the water is discarded, and the glass or container is refilled with fresh water. Right, so you don't have to wash this glass container, this pot or something. Right. After soaking for 3 separate 24-hour period, the glass is considered kosher. Right. Okay, no problem. So actually we finished with glasses. And, just 1 second. Let me see if there are any questions. Okay. So we have a question on the topic. I like questions on the topic. There are questions about unkosher wine. Okay. If one invites people in the process of conversion for a Friday night meal and offer them wine in a glass, wine in a wine glass. Okay. Since the moment non-Jew touched the wine, it is no longer kosher. Does it mean that the host needs to do Miluy V'Iruy on the wine glass? No. Step back. Okay, so let's. It's a very good question. I think it's very practical. So let's try to explain. Step back. Okay. So question about unkosher wine. Okay, not kosher wine. If one invites people in the process of conversion for a Friday night meal and offer them wine in a wine glass, okay, 1 second, step back. So the non-kosher wine is a wine that does not have a kosher sign. We simplify things. That a wine that was not done prepared by a Jew. So all of these wines considered to be not kosher. They're not automatically 100% this wine that was used for idol worshiper, because most of the non-Jews today not idol worshippers, but for For all intensive purposes, it's not kosher wine. Okay, step one. Second, kosher wine is divided in two categories. One is cooked wine, mevushal, and second is non-mevushal, which is lo mevushal. So meaning what? This non-cooked wine is actually the wine that people used to put on altar, like it's higher quality. For example, in my house we drink only non-cooked wine. I mean, because so we don't have people that come like not kosher, or even somebody would come that not exactly Shomer Shabbos. So we're going to pour them, so they're not going to touch their our bottle, but they themselves, like they themselves actually allowed to drink. That's the exception, right? We all not allowed to drink, but they actually allowed to drink because it's their wine. You understand? So as soon as I pour into this person cup, right, and not cup glass, right? So this wine becomes his or her wine, and they're allowed to drink. So I'm not allowed to drink. But since I never going to give them the hold of this decanter, so that there is no problem whatsoever, right? But it's possible. It's possible if they take this decanter, they lift it, shake it, so this old wine in there becomes prohibited, right? But you're not obligated to kasher the decanter, like or your glass, not obligated. Or for example, they drink from their cup or from their glass, you're not obligated to kasher. So that's one thing. It's a non-cooked wine. But if wine was cooked, and majority, I'm not sure what's percentage wise, like let's put it, make it simple. This regular size bottle, 0.75 liter, right? The regular size. I have not seen one that is non-cooked. Let's put it this way. I mean, are they? I mean, it's not like where we have many wines, but sometimes guests would used to bring wine. They all were. I mean, that doesn't matter. From different countries, from like, still. Right, all of them were cooked, absolutely all of them. So and it's right, so that's recommended if you have such a people coming to your house. So you have cooked wine. It's kosher but cooked wine, and they cannot spoil it. So I mean, meaning they can even pour it to you, like pour like you can pour them, and sometimes people want to check. Oh, it's beautiful wine. Let me see the label. You understand? and the one that is the label, and the big expert in wines, and of course you say no. Excuse me, don't read in the labels today. So I would say if you have this many people in your house, so don't go crazy, and just have a cooked wine, and that's it. Right. So that's a very important thing. So let's continue with the question. So again, if one invites people in process of conversion Friday night meal, and offer them a wine in wine glass, okay, since at the moment non-Jews touch the wine, it's no longer kosher. So only, as we said, if it's non-cooked wine, and in this case you have to spill the wine, and that's it. So but utensil in this your glass is still kosher. So I mean kosher meaning you don't have to kosher it again. That's the meaning. Does it mean that the host needs to do Miluy V'Iruy on the wine glass? No. Okay, so that's fine. So, but as a step of precautions, don't do that. So unless I would say when like a couple that they don't invite somebody, or if they're going to invite, they have a different bottle. Let's say I think that it's a good strategy. Somebody asked me how what you said in your class that you drink only uncooked wine, and I buy not that right. We bought uncooked wine, and it's actually cheaper. So the way we buy we buy like 1.5 liters, right, big bottle, cheaper than other people could pay for half of this, 0.75. Understand? So and it's much better, and tastes like amazing, right? Because it's cheap wine. They usually don't like not cheap, like young wine. It's it's not like it was standing like from 1974. Right? So it's from last year, from this year, from like 2 years ago, but that's it. That's very good. So what I'm trying to say, I recommended these people. They try the wine that I recommend. They liked very much, and there is different variety, like 5 or 7 different, like from sweet, semi-sweet, like table wine, like sour, like I don't know, then that our exile or something, right? So. And people like, so they say, how come? What should we do with this gas? And they had some and they get upsetting on their gas. I said, stop that. So when you have gas, have cooked wine. When you and your wife and your kids, you can use uncooked wine. That's it. So there is always solution. Okay. So gas was a mother-in-law. Okay. So they don't just leave the mother-in-law alone, right? So next one. Okay, so we answered that question. Is it considered chametz, oatmeal that was dissolved in a cold water / milk, or only when was dissolved in a hot water milk? No, chametz is with a cold water, right? That's like how you make dough. Right, I know everything I know about dough is from my wife, right? So in some like she told me it's like depend on what kind of dough. It's some they use lukewarm water, right? Room temperature. Sometimes she must they make put the water in the refrigerator, in the freezer or something. It must be cold. Depends on the recipe. So it's not so simple, but it's never hot water. So meaning what? That chametz, of course, she makes chametz, right? The dough is that chametz meaning that the dough is going to rise. So it's going to rise even with a hot or with cold water, right? So yeah, so meaning oatmeal is even with the cold water, and plus if we're talking about this instant oatmeal, I used to eat it in my office for breakfast, right? It's very filling, very nutritious breakfast. So you put in your cup, you add you had hot water, cover it, in 1 minute. So you mix it, and sometimes they put in fruits there. You can do fruits, you can do plain, whatever the different styles. So right, so this if you're trying to cook oatmeal, so in the olden days, like when we were little, I'm not sure, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe more. It's not easy process to cook oatmeal. So I remember that. That's what we used to eat. Right? It's but if it takes 1 minute, so you understand it was pre-cooked. So all of these packets, they already chametz in there. Forget about water. There is no water. So they were chametz because they were pre-cooked, and then they evaporate all of the water, dehydrate it, and put in the packets, right? Packages. Okay, so that's for sure. It's all of the oatmeal that were pre-processed. For sure, it is a chametz by itself. And if it's not chametz and you have regular old style regular oatmeal, so it's still going to be, you add cold water, milk, so it's still going to rise. Yes, cold water. Yes. Okay. Continue. Next question. For Sephardic, if they store a solid cold meat in a dairy glass, for Sephardic, if they store a solid cold meat, okay, good, or dairy, if they store a solid cold meat or dairy in a glass, okay, that's right, in the glass for more than 24 hours, okay, can they switch between the two after washing or to do or they need kosher? No, according to Sephardic custom, so since it's cold, it does not absorb. Yeah, so technically, the way I understand, if you wash it well, so that's it. But the general custom of Klal Israel not to switch between the milk and meat, right? So rabbinically, they required us to kosher, even when biblically not obligated. So it was in the beginning of this book. We said it's like a preventing point, because why? Because if we allow a person to switch between milk and meat on the go wherever they want, so technically, right? Technically, you remember what we said. If it's we had a pot and we cooked chicken soup and we washed it thoroughly and it stood for 24 hours, there is no taste. There is no taste. Period. Taste was spoiled. So technically, you can use it for milk. But our sages say don't do it. So they required us to kasher the utensil completely, right? And it was also to prevent a person to switch, because it's only a matter of time that person is going to say that a person is going to make mistake and think that was it used for milk or meat? Did my wife cook? I don't remember. But she's sleeping. I don't want to ask her. Most likely this, most likely that. Then she wakes up and you ask her the question, and then there's disaster. Right? So basically, I would say don't do it. Not allowed. Like unless we say that one-time deal. So you have too many meat utensils, meat spots, and only one dairy. But now you eat more dairy, so no problem. You can kosher, but it's one time to switch. No more. Okay, no problem. So technically yes, practically no. That's the answer. So next question: should we give all kosher product? Shouldn't we give all kosher product we can to a non-Jew? Since that can help them to clean their souls and hopefully break their clippers, not allowing them to touch wine. Okay, so one more time. Shouldn't we give all kosher products we can to non-Jews, since this can clean their souls, hopefully break their clippers, not allow them to touch wine? Actually, kosher food or non-kosher food, technically they do not affecting the non-Jew, so it's not going to help them very much, right? I would say most likely not. If they stop eating some animals non-kosher animals. It would help them more, but right, but it doesn't matter if they if they chicken, for example, that was not slaughtered according to Halachah, there is no problem with them. It's not it does not affect their soul. It's only affecting Jewish soul, but in a big way. So for non-Jews, so it's since it was never commanded to them. You understand? So we can never hold anything against them if they don't need it. Right? It says clearly the only restriction for non-Jews about meat is to eat it live, right? So, but if it died any way possible, if they kill it or it died by itself, there's no problem. They can eat it and not going to affect their soul. So HaShem would not make a law that for a non-Jews, if we call him merciful God, and His creation, that it's going to affect it in a bad way. Well, let's say if it would affect them in a bad way, and they would then they would get punished. So it's not it's cruelty, it's called cruelty, right? But for a Jew, if they eat drink blood or something, the soul is going to be cut from this world and then the world to come, the scores and other things. For non-kosher food, they get malchus, meaning punishment. For non-Jews, there is not such as a thing. So from it's one of the reasons. So how do you know that it's not going to affect them? Okay. All right. So I think we're going to stop here. I don't want to start new material. It's a long story, and the topic is going to be questionable materials. Right? Questionable materials, of course. What we know, plastic. A lot of things are made of plastic today. Right. So how do you kosher? How you kosher microwave oven? Right. It's also mostly plastic. Is it recommended? Not recommended? Right. So I mean, of course we understand. So if it's possible to replace everything, like when a person goes kosher, it would be preferable. Right. Not absolutely obligatory, but preferable to get rid of old life and start new life. But I would say just practice before you completely change the utensil. Practice kosher, like with all utensils. So in this case, you would not need to rekosher anything, like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, whatever person needs. Right? Just eat only kosher food. Say this like a play, right? Those are going to be my meat dishes. Those are going to be my daily dishes. And see, like after a few months, so you get comfortable. So then you encourage to replace them. If you cannot kosher them, so you encourage to replace. But to replace right away before person learn the laws. And I have this people, and I told them. Of course, they think that they heard it one time or they read it 1.5 times while we're sleeping, that they remember the laws. So I mean, then they create all of the questionable situations, and then you have to decide like how to kosher them. So it's not proper. So our way, like at least my way, is to prepare, like to be confident, and then replace. So, and to be confident, I think, as I said, like from my experience, since I consulted some people, I think two months is like 2 months. After 2 months, you would know for sure. Do you need extra time, or you can switch tomorrow? And of course, at the same time, you can start buying new things, whatever cannot be kosher or questionable. So we put it aside, like all of the frying pans, like Teflon. I don't think it's kosherable, right? It's not going to withstand the torch. So we try not to do it. Okay, so let's stop here. No problem. Let's continue with laws of Yichud, and our section is 1 second. One second. So okay. So our big topic is exemption of shomer, right? And we said who is the shomer? That the other one of the party or two of the party would be ashamed of, somebody close. We said mother, like even minor. We said minor, Jewish, non-Jewish. We said mother. We said sister. We said brother, father, right? Grandparents. All of these close relatives, aunts, right? Nephews. That people would not be drawn into like arise with them. So meaning that they are good shomer. So the one who would people were embarrassed and would not do it in front of them, or not in front, but in their presence, in their knowledge. Okay. All right. So now we continue with A3, section A3. And now topic is the qualification need to be a shomer. Okay, so before that we list all of the relatives that qualify as a shomer. Now we say there is different additional qualification. Okay, and it says to be effective for permitted yichud, a shomer must meet mainly 2 simple criteria. Number 1, she must be immune over eyes in yichud settings. Okay. And number 2, she must be alert and conscious person. So we're going to explain both of them. So okay. So we start with 1. Meaning of immunity in yichud. Okay. A shomer must be neutral, that is immune in double quotes, of course, to any susceptibility to arise in a Yichud setting to which he/she will act as a shomer. Right? Meaning that they are not interested in these relationships. The state of immunity to arise in this context take two forms. A, psychological inadequacy. For example, due to the lack of physiological inadequacy. For example, due to the lack of physical development or health, right? So it's like elderly person, so they're not into this arise, right? Or they are still undeveloped, as we said, the first category was child, or nephew, niece, children, we say, our own children, and daughter and son, right? Also, for sure, shomer, or mother, father, and B, subjective disinterest. For example, there is, due to the human nature, psychology of fears. Okay, so it follows that A, one may become a valid shomer by the virtue of the fact that he or she immune to arise in general due to the lack of physical development. Okay, so that's easy part. Examples. A young boy between 6 and 9 is immune from arise conduct due to his lack of physical development. Very simple, right? So that he can be a shomer. Next one, next example. A young girl from age 6 until, but not including 11 years old, is immune from arise conduct due to her lack of physical development. Okay, so that's first category, of course. Okay, so next B. So the next one, of course, is more complicated, right? So B is one become a valid shomer at any age. There is an adult if he or she subjectively immune to arise due to the setting or composition of the people, in particular Yichud circumstances. So meaning maybe with other people it would be more conductive, but with this, with his, with your brother, with his mother, like it's not conductive. Examples. Okay, and it says, sister, a woman is immune to arise in Yichud of her brother and another woman. Okay, so as we said before. Right, so I mean, they of course they allowed brother and sister, as we said before, only for a short period of time, but it's a different story. Okay, hence as a sister becoming a shomer for her brother in this circumstance. So man with in another woman and his sister. Okay, so meaning she's a good shomer. Father, a man is immune from to arise with his daughter, right? Yes, man is immune rise with his daughter, meaning it's not even enter his mind. That's what immune means, and is thus, in a halachic sense, is neutral bystander in Yichud of his daughter and another man, meaning that he's a good shomer, so he's not going to participate. Right? It's like it's all right. He's immune. This renders him as de facto shomer over his daughter in Yichud, thereby making the Yichud permissible by this very presence, by his very presence, right? Just because he is here, so they can be in Yichud. Okay. Next one, married woman. A married woman whose husband is local in a city, in a city like that's expression, is immune from arise transgression due to her apprehensiveness if her husband in her husband's general presence. Okay, see below B, section B, Ba'aloch Bir. Okay, Beir. Okay, so meaning he's a city. Therefore, almost any man, there is a repairman, for example, a repairman who is not gosbo. Gosbo, we said, very good with women, may be alone with her in a house or at work in an office, even if it is locked. Okay, why? Because husband can come. I'm not sure. Okay, Another woman, there is a single girl who is a neighbor, is also permitted to visit her while the repairment is in the house. So meaning that this one is immune, and she's going to watch over this neighbor. Okay. They exempt because the presence of a woman whose husband is in a city permits yichud in any other woman as well. Okay, so I mean, as we learned before, like we have to define what husband in the city. If he works very far away, so it's not in the city, so he's out of the city. But if he has to take 3 trains to go to his job, 2 hours or 2.5 hours one way, so it's not considered in the city. So in the city, when there is a possibility, so he's like a realtor or a contractor. He can come anytime. Why here? I thought that you have a big country. Yeah, I forget my screwdriver or something. Right, I forget my toolbox, whatever he forgot. Right, so if there is a possible, so that's the husband in the house, in the city. Okay. So again, they are exempt because the presence of the woman whose husband in a city permits the yichud of any other women as well. The explanation, the presence of the married woman who is immune due to the husband proximity fosters the setting of a completely non-conductive to arise transgression. Human nature dictates that if one in a group will not sin with arise transgression, none of the other in a group would allow themselves to do so. Okay, so that's as we said, I think last time or the time before last one. So it's very interesting. So if one of them is reserved, meaning that all other also not going to do it. So they would usually people would look at each other. Are they ready? Not ready? That's a scary part. Okay. So let's do maybe a little more. Number 2, presence of the neck skin. Right. Relative protects the entire group. So meaning some close relatives. As a general rule, yichud of the entire group is permitted if two of the members are permitted to be in yichud with one another. Right. The individual, so like this shomer, like all of the shomers that we spoke before. The individuals who are permitted to be in yichud automatically serve as a shomer. So that's a good like formula, right? So if two of these people can be in yichud, so that's one of them is automatically shomer, which is amazing. The presence of the necks of kin, so like close relatives, right? Due to the natural and mutual arouse disinterest is a good application of this principle. So they both of them not interested in anything, right? In arise. Examples: father and his daughter with unrelated man on a woman. Okay. So meaning that father is going to be a shomer for a daughter, and daughter is going to be shomer for her father. So it's I mean, it does not say that, but it makes sense. That's what it means. Like it works both ways. So, I mean, I already says that, but okay. A father and a daughter are permitted to be in yichud with each other. Therefore, yichud is all 3 is permitted. So, be the third person is a man or a woman. Okay. Grandfather and his granddaughter with unrelated man or a woman. A grandfather and granddaughter are permitted to be in a state of yichud. Therefore, yichud in all 3 is permitted. Okay. So it's like say let's say he has this grandfather has a home attendant or something, nurse. I don't know. Grandfather and her grandmother and her grandson with unrelated man or a woman. A grandmother and grandson are permitted to be in yichud. Therefore, yichud in all these 3 is permitted. Brother and sister with unrelated man or a woman, so meaning a brother and sister would be shomer for each other. A brother and a sister are permitted to be in yichud for a brief period only, right, as we said before. Therefore, yichud in all 3 are permitted for brief periods. Okay. Next one, nephew and his aunt. With unrelated man or woman, nephew and his aunt, there is a father's or mother's sister, doesn't matter, are permitted to be in Yichud for a brief period only. Therefore, Yichud in all three is permitted for a brief period. In the case of next kin relatives, right? Next of kin relatives, there is a firm halachic assumption that their seclusion could not possibly lead to a rise, right? This means that the two relatives are neutral, and their seclusion immune to a rise transgression in any yichud with one another. So basically, of course, we know there are perverted people, but halachically, it's going to be exception. We don't go by exception. We don't go by overwhelming general rule. Okay. This neutral status extends to all who are present, right, and thereby protect the entire group in the yichud as explained. Parents and grandparents with their children and grandchildren also examples of this as stated earlier. So I guess we can stop here. Let's take a quick break, 5 minutes, and as we promised, and let's continue. And we're going to continue with questions and maybe other topics. Be'ezras Hashem. So 5 minutes. So about questions, I think we answer all the questions. Baruch Hashem, no new questions. Unless I miss something. No, there are no questions, sorry. Okay, so there is questions, Kasher products. Okay, so Rabbi, is it possible to kasher glass lid if it was used to cover hot dairy when it was meat? Yeah, of course, that is possible. You will just most likely it was used with water, so we just dip into the slit, dip the slit into the hot water. That's it, like boiling water. Right. Of course, you wash it. Again, the procedure: you wash it first, let it stand 24 hours. If you're not sure, if it was not used for 24 hours, that's you don't need to wait, right? You just wash it, and it can kasher. Okay, so next one. Once we used part of glass with daily meal. Okay, but keep the cup. 1 second. Once we use the pot of glass with daily meal. Okay, pot of glass with the okay. But keep the cup contain parv. Okay, so basically we drank iced tea, right? We ate cheese omelet, let's say, and we ate the iced tea. Okay, does it affect the cup? So if it was cold in there, so I would say yeah, we need just to wash it, to wash with the soap, and that's it. That's enough, because there was no hot. I mean, it does not say like a cold hand, but I assume. So if we have glass, most likely, of course, glass could be used for coffee, like yeah. But let's make it simple. Cold, meaning iced tea or something, or orange juice. Okay, so just wash it nicely, then that's it. Next one, again, since it was cold, and even like a person, like let's say they just ate a piece of cheese and they wash, like and they drink. So of course there is a residue from the cheese on a cup, right? But since it was it's all cold on cold, so you can just wash it. No problem. Okay, so continue. Okay. Maybe hypothetical question about shidduch. Okay. I have heard that multiple kosher rabbis multiple kosher labis, it's already anomaly. Okay. I know we heard about multiple kosher. Okay, that's good. Okay, good compliment. That sometimes from women will care what type of car the man drives. Okay. If time comes for a single man to get a different car, should he take this into consideration and try to get a newer, more respectable seeming model? That's a very good question. Uh, So before answering the question, I would say what I remember Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi Shlita said. So if she cares about the car, so send your brother. He said, I mean, in a jokingly way, the way he can, right? But he brings his point across. So send your brother in the car, and she would say, oh, you look different in the picture. And you should have, yeah. He said, no, I'm not. It's not me. It's my brother is who wants to get married to you, right? But he's busy, and most likely you said I asked him what car he's driving, so he sent his car. So it doesn't matter who's driving the car. You care about car, right? So he's a car. So there is such a woman like that. You have to run away, because this marriage most likely is not going to last, or it's going to be miserable. Who needs that? He in this car. Yeah. She wants the car. She can marry a car dealer. Right? We used to have somebody who were parking like across from us, and the guy was a car dealer. So in BMW, younger fellow. I don't know how they have allowed him this car. So he would drive home all of this fancy schmancy car. So I mean, he was driving his girlfriend around. So if you want a new car, so let you marry a car dealer. Okay. So yeah. So I mean, if it's so material like this, she care about these brands, schmans. So it's a red like a red line, like a red flag. Run away. So I mean, say thank you very much, because some women, as I said, they some women are more than men. They are good actors, so they can play, and then they fool you, and you get married, and then you have a miserable life. But if she's such a nice person, so she tells you in your face that what car you drive and where do you work, I say I make living, so respectable. I'm not blue collar, right? So she no, I want to know. Why do you want to know? Okay. So it's very interesting, right? And of course, many women they try to gauge you, right? Meaning what is he going to be a doctor or not a doctor? Is he a businessman? Is he has account on Amazon or something, like store on Amazon? Okay, so all these people. So of course it's like a sign for us to pray better. And HaShem, like I know that I'm not deserving if you send me this garbage. I apologize, HaShem. Please accept my apology. I have to work on myself. You understand? So that's how we have to see it, the situation. Okay. Right, so so you don't have buy a better car, like a more expensive car, like just for show. You buy whatever you want, some normal, not the cheapest one, not the most expensive, like normal, like I don't know, some respectful brand. That's it. That breaks less. I mean, when we were considering new car, like many years ago, so first we only had two cars. That's it, for many years. Not three. One is very used, and then one brand new, and third one also brand new. So, but the second lasts for 17 and a half years. Right? It was like too rusty, this and that. So it was too dangerous, basically. Right? So that's why we decided to get a new one. And the main point, that one that breaks less, the more reliable. That's it. Okay. So next question, Rabbi, a question about Yichud. Okay, how should we treat someone that is flamboyant or suspected of abomination? Is it forbidden to be in Yichud with this person of the same gender? So right. So it's a very good question. So if we suspect that this person is not there, and he likes the same gender. So what should we do? So I say we have to stay away. So it's like from wild animal, right? So we stay away, even if we suspect, right? So very important. Stay away from this guy. Okay. So we have like a continuation about a question about kosher products that they affect or not affect non-Jews. Okay, so continuation. Baruch HaShem, thank you very much, Rav. I am sorry for asking another question. No, that's fine. I mean, we had to answer the questions. Whatever we have is good. Asking another question at the same time. Since eating kosher does not affect the klippos of non-Jews, yes, how they can break them? If this, okay, so that's a very good question. If this one of the reasons, they are not obligated to believe in all 13 principles of Jewish faith, especially arrival of Mashiach. Okay, so it's, this question is much more difficult than the first one. So let's do it again. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm sorry for. Okay, continue. Since eating non-kosher food does not kosher food does not have a klippos of non-Jew, how they can break them? So they break them. Yes, 13 principle does not apply to them, but the 7 nochide laws apply to them. So and the first nochide law to believe in a creator, right? And creator gave them some responsibility, different from a Jews, but still very, very serious responsibility. And they abandon idolatry. So if they're in idolatry, they're abandoned. But to work on them, they learn Torah. They will learn Musar. Whatever Musar we teach is applicable to Jews and non-Jews alike. Right? All of us have a bad tendency. Right, some of us more, some of us less, but same character deficiency. Like people get angry, people stingy, people mistreat their spouses. Like it's all the same. So that's how they have to work through what is it through the self-development. So these are the things when people say, oh, should I eat that? It's going to be this or that. Like today, I have a class today. During the day, and it was a question. Was there a question in that class or yesterday in this class? I don't remember. So, but I think it was from today. So, and somebody got Ayin Hara, right? So, meaning somebody like Ayin Hara, like bad eye, and they said like in a synagogue, I don't know, there is a procedure. Like on top of their head, melt some metals. I don't know, like I don't know, into containers, this and that. Some procedure. I think it's dangerous, all of this, and most likely it's not going to work. So people trying to like they say it says in the Talmud. Okay, maybe it says in the Talmud, but people take the stories from the Talmud like out of the content. So and I always, not always, like few times in my life, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but the purpose Talmud and Talmud and Talmud. So I said, did you learn Talmud today? No. I'm telling you this story. But do you learn Talmud on a daily basis? And the person is shocked, like no, I don't learn the Talmud. I'm not on that level, so I read some. So, oh, you're not on the level to learn Talmud, but you take some things that you don't understand and you try to implement it. That's people, like crazy people. So, and same with the food, I'm not going to eat pig, and I'm going to get a better person. It's not going to work this way, right? Even with the Jews, yes, if the Jews stopped eating non-kosher food and start eating non-kosher food, it just changes his spirituality, make him or her open to the spirituality. That's it. If they're not going to do anything, there are many Jews who eat kosher, and that's it. And even outside of the house, inside of the house, that's it. They never advance. They're not observing Shabbos, nothing. So food by itself, is a great plus even for Jews. But if you leave it at that, it does not help much. I mean, with the kosher food it helps, but otherwise it does not. So the main point, in self-development, to work on yourself, to change your character, to break your bad character traits. It requires work, right, for Jews and non-Jews, right? And since the Jews, non-Jews don't have this Yetzer Hara strong as a Jew, right? So that's a big plus for them. It's much easier. For example, a Jew has Yetzer Hara, since they obligated Jew, is obligated to learn Torah day and night, right? It says Yom Balayla, right? From day to night, when, right? So as I also just say, is it any time that you excluded, like from you're not obligated from learning Torah? Yes, exactly. Yeah, there is such a day. What time? What time is it? When you find the time, there is not day and not night, so you're absolved, right? There is no such a day. There is no such a time. As we learn always, the day is divided into parts. One is day, one is night, divided by 12 parts, and that's halachic night, halachic day. That's it. So meaning the Jew is obligated to learn Torah, and that's why there is such a resistance for a Jew to learn Torah. It's a huge resistance. Most of the Jews don't learn Torah. They unfortunately, even the same who considers them religious, even from birth, they know some basic things, but they're not 100% sure. But you ask him how you kosher glass kosher. Can you kosher glass? Oh, you kosher. Oh, you can. I did not know. So thank you very much for. What do you mean? You're 50 years old. Like you finished yeshiva, you went to Israel for 3 years or something. You don't know that you can kosher? No, I heard, I was not sure. Look, I never have to kosher the glass. Stop it, all these things. You understand? Even, right, so that's why we're not blaming the Jews, but because we explained they have a very big Yetzer Hara not to do it. But non-Jews don't have this Yetzer Hara, since they're not obligated to learn Torah. Right, they don't have, and there is no problem with them. They can learn, and they fall in love, and with Torah. There is no problem. People don't even want to convert. Just they learn the how many texts I'm getting. I love your wisdom, the Torah wisdom, this wisdom, that wisdom. I'm in awe of your Torah. They not the one just they're amazed with the wisdom. They can watch the lectures non-stop. Right, so because there is no Yetzer Hara for a Jew to watch it, that's very hard. But the reward is also not the same. But if a non-Jew capitalize, what I'm trying to capitalize on this, and that since they don't have a resistance against the Torah learning, so they have to use it, right? And this is going to help them to break the klipa. But food is not so much. Like passive things usually do not work. Right, so only active things. Only HaShem sees your heart that you are trying, and it says the one who comes and try to purify them a little, Leib from Shemaim, is going to help them a lot, purify him a lot. And somebody who comes to contaminate himself with it, one time, nobody is going to know. One time, I do. So he comes to contaminate himself. They're going to contaminate him from Shemaim a lot. Meaning after this, they're going to send them another opportunity, right? Unfortunately, right? So that's how you work on non-Jew, right? So I mean, it's as we said, it's a big advantage. It's a huge advantage for a non-Jew to learn Torah, right? Because they don't have this concept, this resistance. Okay. So let me finish. The last sentence says, is one reason for they not obligated to believe in 13 principle of Jewish faith, especially arrival of Mashiach. I mean, arrival of Mashiach, they're not even obligated to believe in afterlife, basically. I think, no, as a reward and punishment, I would say they do. Arrival of Mashiach, most of them think that we die and that's it. So I mean. That's it, right? The Mashiach is not the obligation. Okay. But once they start learning Torah, it's going to all come about, right? So let's see, next question. Because I have a question about ethics in friendship. When a friend wants to apologize, but apology consists of blaming the person who is apologizing. And only at the end, after pouring out the other person failures. Finish the apology saying, I'm very sorry for anything that I could do to you, right? Anything that I could do to you. Is it different? Is this different if the apology is between men and between women? Okay. Could this be taken as authentic or simply a reason to break the relationships? Okay, so we have to do it again, but before we do it again, because it's a very, very interesting question. We have to understand there is some people to say, I'm sorry, this person's very sorry. It's like pulling their teeth, like without anesthesia. And it's how pulling their kidneys, remove their kidneys without anesthesia. So we have to, if you know that the person is like that, is very stubborn. So you have to be a little nicer and give a person a break. So for them, it was for you jumping to the moon. You understand? With the ego, it was like an unbelievable step, unbelievable. So, but let's see. Again, there are questions about ethics and friendship. Okay, when a friend wants to apologize, right? So okay, so they know that they hurt us, and they want to apologize. Okay, so they then saw something wrong. We show them with our behavior, just ignoring them and this and that. So there is I don't appreciate whatever you said to me, whatever you did to me. I don't appreciate. Okay, right? By apology consists of blaming the person who is apologized. So yeah, they start. You did this to me, you did that to me, this and that, and only in the end, after pointing out the other person failures, of course, right? So because of the ego, so because they're building up. Maybe you have to understand the situation. The way I see that, maybe this person was when he came to apologize, he was absolutely when he was walking, he said, "Yeah, I have to apologize. How could I have done it and this and that?" But then ego came over, took over, and person started blaming, the nature came back, right, of this unapologetic person. Right, and the end, he you can understand, inside of this person there is a fight, right? He said that he blamed us again from the beginning, and new blames just in case if it the real was not enough, maybe invented few. Right, finish apologies. I'm very sorry. Anything that I can do for you, right? So I can anything that I can do for you, right? So the question is if we should accept this apology, right? I think my personal understanding, I think we should accept, because it looks like for that person, based on the story, it was mission impossible. Again, for us, jump to the moon. Okay, so if we expected a pure, sincere apology with the tears, so right, that's a little too much. Is it different, the apology between men and between men and women? I'm not sure what does it mean. I mean, I think it's not about men, it's not about women. I think it's about a person being stubborn. So how come I always right? So I heard this person many years ago in my office, and he was one of the top programmers, right? Top, young boy, very promising, already married. His wife was working office. She was right, very interesting. And they allow, usually they don't allow in my company. Actually, they say not allowed, but there are several couples that work in office. Right? He was top, but she was not so much, basically. Young and beautiful, but not very smart. I mean, compared to him, nothing, right? And he said, somebody was arguing. I was passing by, and he said, he's very angry. He said, "I'm right. I'm always right." Whoa! Everybody got silent, and to tell you the truth, whatever this guy said from the top of his mind, whatever I called him, it was 100% correct. I don't know, he had the brain better than any computer, but yes, it is true. But I mean, in the business that we're in, I'm not sure about other things, but he was for a person like this to apologize, that who said I am always right, and he was very annoyed with that person who suspected that maybe this time he was wrong. So to apologize for the person like this is almost virtually impossible. How come? He would blame you, right? So I think it's not like a men and women. It's about stubborn people. Could this be taken as authentic or simply reason to break the relationship? I mean, if right, it's hard to say if it is authentic. I think it is what it was authentic. If person worked on their ego, that they put it down, they right to put down on their ego even for 5 minutes, 3 minutes, and they apologize. I think that it's authentic. Is it ego is going to come back? Most likely. Most likely. Is it apology is going to be remembered? I don't know, maybe yes, maybe no. So we have to see. Is it the reason to break the relationships? Okay, maybe. I mean, this is. I mean, if person is not learning from the lessons and hurt us again and again and again, so it's better to stay away from that person. Just tell him or her in clear language. I don't appreciate whatever you do. So let's do you do you, and I do me. So let's stay away. That's it. Not it's very straightforward language. Okay, it's not working out for us. Okay, we're not married. We don't have to be married. Like you stay away, right? So, but was it sincere? In my opinion, it was 100% sincere, based on what story said and based on my personal experience. So for these people, it's mission impossible. So, and I know these people like that. So they never apologize. Well, rarely. You can count on your with the fingers on one hand. Okay, not apologize, but admit that they were wrong. Okay, no problem. So next question. I have a question about attraction and tikkun. How does one distinguish between good and bad attraction? If one is attracted to people with specific features, does it mean that the zivug would have such features, or is this tikkun for them to overcome? Very interesting question. What if one is not attracted to specific physical features, but attracted to people with specific vibe or personality? Okay. So let's do from the beginning, and we try to understand and explain if you understand. So okay, could I have a question about attraction and tikkun? So basically, the question, the bottom line of the question, if this attraction, like physical attraction, is good or not, is it positive, or we have to get rid of it? So let's try to understand. I mean, for me, it's a little too generic question, but let's try. How does one distinguish between good and bad attraction? Okay, question is clear. If one is attracted to people with specific features, does it mean that their zivug would have such features? Let's stop here. So if a person, I'm not sure, the example would be appreciated very much, but if a person to attract the people with certain features, so I think that the person is going to look for zivug, somebody with these features. So it's not and they would be attracted to this kind of personality, the physical feature or spirituality, right? Other things, such features, or it is tikkun for them to overcome. I mean, if this feature is something negative and something more materialistic, more the physical, so it should not be the our barrier. It should not be our stopping sign or something. Just because this person does not have this feature, this physical or some other vibe, so that's it. I think we have to look for spirituality, right? In the most important aspect, if person is God-fearing or not. right? If it's a man, so if he's learning Torah every day, man, it doesn't matter. He could be working man if he learns Torah in the morning and at night. So most likely he's going to work on his character traits, and he's organized and he's dedicated. So that's for a man. I think is like the best selling point in some sense, right? So, okay. What if one is not attracted to specific physical features, but attracted to people's specific vibe? Right, like personality. So specific vibe and personality. Physical features change. Like people get older and they change, right? And right. And sometimes you see people like men overweight, and then they show you a picture from I don't know so many years ago, and he is thin, and he's trim as like so fit. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, and he has muscles like this. So now his muscles like I don't know when his stomach, and that's it. So people's physical appearance change. So if you're going to count that it's going to stay, it's we're going to be what is it? Very disappointed. Okay, tikkun overcome. So it's easy tikkun to overcome. Again, it depends like what we're talking about, right? Hypothetical example: assuming no features are negative, midas and negative spirituality. Physical feature with a certain build. Oh, that's not a problem of personality, more reserved than outgoing. Okay, so that's a good example. Hypothetical example, assuming that no feature on negative midas and negative spirituality. So not something that not negative does not mean there is a good automatically, right? So somebody have like I don't know what is it? This what is it? Hobby, right? So somebody likes to go like hiking. Is it negative? No, it's not negative. Is he killing anybody? No. Is he eating treif? Not. Is he doing something wrong? No. He likes nature. So is it like good for his Torah development? I don't know. If he's going to learn the Torah while walking, yeah, that's maybe amazing. So he can concentrate, appreciate the beauty of the nature, yes. But otherwise, like it's a waste of time. Is it negative? No, it's not negative. Is it good? It's a waste of time. So I don't think like when we decide some features are positive or negative, it's like how is it adds to his spirituality, to his religious life, because we're here in this life to serve Hashem, right? That's our goal. So whatever I do, like hiking, I mean, depends what I do. Like if he going to watch TV or hike and listen to the Torah, so let him hike and listen to the Torah, right? So it depends what the outcome is. It like bottom line, whatever I do, right? It doesn't matter if people say positive, negative. Is it going to bring me close to Hashem or not? That's the decided point. I'll say it like that. Okay, my personality reserve for outgoing, right? Outgoing, it's like the problem with outgoing people. Is the problem with outgoing people. They need other companies. They need other they need to be liked with other by other people. They need to be invited. So these outgoing people, for sure, they are involved in all of the Haloshon Hara. Guarantee is 101%. Right, and when all of this outgoing, maybe they like to drink, and the one wine going in, and then lightheadedness comes, and what next? Hashkafa Shalom. What happened? You understand? So is outgoing good? I don't think so. I think it's negative. Right? For a Jew, it's negative. For other people, let they do whatever they want. But reserve, it's very positive. It's very positive. Right? When a person does not need all the company, all the a lot of people, and somebody's wife forgot to dress, the last time she was dressed, now she forgot to dress. Like who needs that? Who needs the situation? Right? Okay, so next question. So next question. Got a question about Ayin Hara. Okay. Since one is allowed to be jealous of spiritual matters, especially Torah knowledge, I wonder if the spiritual matter is susceptible to Ayin Hara. If so, why don't we worry about jealousy of the Torah knowledge would bring Ayin Hara? If not, why Midrash says that one of the reasons that the first set of covenant broke was Ayin Hara. Right. Okay, so let's do from the beginning. So question is about our Ayin Hara. So Ayin Hara is a bad eye. Right, so somebody gave somebody a bad eye. Okay. Once one is allowed to be jealous with the spiritual man. So I would say you're not allowed to be jealous with anything of anybody. So he has a better wife. I don't know, not better. He has maybe prettier wife than you. Maybe has kids you don't. Maybe they have the car and all of the material success. Job you hardly you just lost your job after 2 months that you're in this. In finding other jobs. So okay, all of the spiritual matter, all the physical matter, it is absolutely forbidden to get jealous. Why? Because a person who is jealous, he is apicorus. So meaning that he is saying that HaShem made a mistake. He gave you, but did not me. I was recipient. You know who was supposed to get this house? Me, of course. Who is deserving? Of course, I'm deserving more than him, more than her, right? This job, he's so stupid. I used to we learned, we studied together in the high school, and this guy was copying from me everything, absolutely everything. If not for me, he would not have graduated from the high school. And today he's the top of the company, this and that, and because of the diploma he got from a high school that he was copying from, all of these things. You understand? So this jealousy is absolutely forbidden because it goes against HaShem. So he's saying that HaShem made mistake. If it's instead of him, instead of me, he gave to him. Right? So that's why it is forbidden. But sages say that there is allowed the jealousy about somebody's Torah knowledge. Why? Because especially today is so simple. Like in olden days, like only rich people could afford the books, and or books were usually the congregation would buy it. So it's a rich congregation. That means that they have a better library. So people would come. The congregation usually would not allow them to take books home. Right, so it's shared books, so they would come to synagogue and they study there, or the base medrash, they study. It's unbelievable, right? But today you can buy your own books, you can listen to the lectures, so you can get the same knowledge, technically, right? Hypothetically, let's say, as other person. So nobody's stopping you. You said you even have a bigger IQ than him, right? Nobody's stopping you. So it's free. The Torah is absolutely free. So meaning that our sages say, Rashi explained, Torah was given in Bamidbar, in the desert. Why? One of the reasons, because it's free. So anybody who wants it, he can come, learn, pray to HaShem. HaShem is going to bless him, and he's going to acquire. So meaning this person who is jealous, he could be hypothetically, and this big Talmid Chacham, even bigger. So if he apply himself. So that's why this jealousy is productive. It's productive meaning to push person to learn more. There is no problem, right? So that's why it's not going to bring the person to the better result, because to get the house, I can hardly can afford a basement apartment, but I'm jealous with somebody who has a three-story house with 17 rooms in there, and 16 maids who were working on cooking, on the kitchen, cleaning the house. This all of these things. This is such a big stretch, right? To jump from this to this. But from Torah knowledge, right? If you apply yourself, there is nobody stop you. That's why it's free. So that's why it's not. Our sages say that Hashem guarantees, since that he allowed to do this jealousy, because it's productive, right? So nothing bad is going to come from this jealousy, right? That might come if person like try to humiliate this Talmid Chacham, right, and try to put him down in order to put himself up. But if it's healthy jealousy, he can compete in some sense, right? One examples that we learn somehow I want to say that we learned from Sefer HaChinuch, but I don't remember what mitzvah was it. How it was. I don't remember what mitzvah was it. But here's the halacha, right? So you're not allowed to open a business, similar business next to another one. So if he has a shoe store, so I'm not allowed to open this shoe store like across the street from him, right? And like if it's a huge like city like Manhattan or something, Boston, like a huge big city, right? So in this case, yeah, you can like on the same block. There's so many people. There are so many people, tourists, locals. They buy shoes. It's not business for him. It's not business for him. But he can complain that it's not enough business, so he can take you to court. So you move 5 blocks away, for example. So and then you're going to have enough customers. But if it's a small town, small tiny town, and he has a shoe business, and you try to open another one in what is it in this town, it's not enough business for two of you, right? So in this case, they just can say to that person, no, you cannot, Mister, you have to change your business. You cannot do that because you're like entrenching on parnasa or another person. Not allowed to do that. But I also just say if he's a teacher of the small children, right? It's allowed to open one yeshiva next door to another. Why? Because it's healthy competition. So this rabbi was the top of the world, right? Because he was the only one, right? He was a little lax in education. Now has a competition, so people can bring their children to my yeshiva, to his yeshiva. Oh, now we work much harder. So it's meaning that it creates like spiritual results, like a good competition. So hopefully in l'shem shamayim, right? So that we want to offer to you better education. So now it's good. So in this case, he cannot come and say he has to close his yeshiva because it's not enough kids. This he cannot say. So this Torah institution, like educational, so HaShem said the more the better. The more the better, because it's going to be healthy institution. So you start relaxing, like you don't hire a good teacher. And guess what? We're going to go to that school, right? I have amazing teachers, the best. They care about children, and who needs you basically, right? So that's and Hashem promised, so nothing bad is going to come from this competition, guaranteed. So that's why it is allowed, and even somebody is jealous from somebody Torah knowledge again. So it's not like you have to work 1 million years and have $3 million. No, you can open the same books. All of the books, if you don't know Hebrew, there is no problem. The main books were translated, like you can read in your own language, and that's it. And become as knowledgeable as him, even more. So, but you start. Okay. Okay. So continuation on a question of this question about ethics and friendship. Okay. Similarly to this, what about a person who expects you to apologize from them hurting you? That's very sad, because something you did used to do to them a negative reaction which hurt you. So okay, so that's a crazy person. If a person like that, you have to stay away from that for sure. Like, if before that I was not sure, but okay. But it's a life situation. It's clear situation, and unfortunately there are people like that. I'm laughing, but I'm laughing like from sorrow, because these people reported to me, and I know personally people like that. So they're so miserable in their life that they know they're wrong, and they say, no, you know why I'm wrong. You know, like especially this very like often happen to parents. So now this guy is 30 years old and he comes to his mother and try to humiliate you, like, how come you give me this education, that education, how come you are not rich, how come this, how come, like, all these things, like, how come you 30 years old, you still a bum, how about that, how come this, right? It has nothing to do with education. You're an adult for a long time. No, it's not fixable, because when I was 6 years old, he yelled at me and he hurt my feelings, and since then I could not sleep. I cannot go to the bathroom correctly. You understand? So now the children come and they want parents to apologize to them. So that's the most common application. So am I aware of this? I'm very, very aware of it. And it's very frustrating for a person. I have to apologize. So okay, you want me to? I say I'm sorry. So now again the situation. What about a person who expects you to apologize for them hurting you, right? So you did something that provoked them, and they hurt you, and now you have to apologize for them provoking, so for you provoking them, and they hurt you. I mean, that's a little crazy. Okay, that's a little crazy. So I think it's a red flag to say, you know what? Wait 1 second, and you run away. You run away and never come back. Or block this person. Okay. Right, that's sick person, sick, and the issue is with all of these people. Of course, I mean with all of the people that I dealt with. Let's be clear. So there is almost no fix to these people, right? So once you apologize for this, they would ask you, demand to apologize for anything else. Does this apology is going to fix them, help them to continue like normal life? No. And they should try to find all the faults with other people. So it's not productive. This relationship is not productive, very frustrating. And if it's possible, just break them. If it's possible, of course. So continue. We have a hypothetical question about shidduch. Okay. What would it be the red flag if shidduch is hobby sport? Could this indicate problematic Hashkafa? Right, okay. So the question, again, a hypothetical question about the shidduch, would it be a flag shidduch hobby sport? So I would say depends what sport, what kind of sport. Is sport meaning watching TV sport, right? And we're cheering for a team, or a sport meaning that he like a bicycle, rides the bicycle every morning. So it's also sport. So it depends. So it's for exercise, as we said before. There is no problem. But if person like to watch TV and they go to stadiums and with their beard, of course, and they put the tzitzis inside, right? And they wear this stupid baseball hat, and everybody knows that they're Jewish. As one person said, I feel them. Unfortunately, he's himself going to stadiums, so he's one of these clowns. And he said, I would come to this person, so because that person thinks, because I mean he has regular slacks, regular short, like off collar, let's say, like regular short, right, long sleeve. But you see, he's Jewish. He's looking very, very Jewish, right? Without kippah, but the baseball hat. So he said, I would come to say, what time is mincha today? And this guy who was thinking that he blend in, so he looks like a non-Jew, but he come and say, what time is mincha? But he's guilty and that guilty. So people who go to the stadiums, that's a big problem. It's Hashkafa, it's a big issue, right? It's the beginning of the end, basically. So if you know the person like that, I would say it's better stay away from these people. If he likes to play basketball with somebody, that's one thing. But go to the stadium or watching on the TV, that's a waste of life. Okay, so next question, general question. For a woman, general question. What is the line between positive mentality to keep in shame and being overly self-conscious? So that's very good question. So with women, men must be very careful, right? And wrote myself a note to make a clip We had a few clips about shalom bayis. We have to make another one. So women are very self-conscious that she thinks that everybody is looking at her, and she's overweight, even not, right? Over this, over that, my skin. The problem is my skin, and I would say maybe she has a reason because other women looking at her, but the husband usually don't look at they don't scrutinize the woman his wife. Is she a little gain weight, not gain? Usually they do not care so much usually, but if they care, they should learn more Torah for sure. The Torah should is a cure for everything. But back to the question, right? Was a positive mentally or the self-conscious? It's not such an easy question to answer. So I would say it depends on personality. So if she's trying to impress her husband, there is no problem. I think usually men do not look at his wives to scrutinize. Did she gain 2 pounds or 1.5 pounds? Did she lost 3 pounds? He do not care, unless it's very significant, right? But for men, it's the good idea to keep quiet because women are very self-conscious. They know. You don't have to tell your wife that she gained weight. She knows she gained. She looks in the mirror every day. So she knows. She steps on the scales. She knows it. So without your genius comments, basically, that's what we say to all of these men. And sometimes men, right? Men can complain how come she does not want to be with me? How come this? Right? Because she changed sometimes, because of the pills, because of after birth effects, many issues, and she gained weight, and this genius made a comment, so maybe she should lose weight. And I'm telling you, all of the comments that I heard from the guys, I know the guys, he has a beer belly, belly like this, beer belly. You know why you call beer belly? Because you can pour the beer mark on top of it, and it's going to stand. It's such a huge belly. So he complained that his eye gained weight. You normal? Did you look at yourself in the mirror? You know. You understand? So for a woman, I would say to be self-conscious, not try to to be if you try to compete with other women, it's not going to work out. Some single women, they're working out. The only care they have in their life is the job. They're very dedicated professionals. They care about their nails and their hairdo, and that's it. So you're going to compete with them. So right. So and for a husband, as I said, usually they do not care so much. So a woman should not be very self-conscious, or should not be at all self-conscious, if it's possible. At least as the least as possible. Okay. Okay. So next question. Well, could it be that keeping healthy shalom bayis, for keeping a husband feels jealous, not crazy jealous, of his wife? Or could this turn into unbearable and dangerous instead of healthy? Right. That's a very good question. So again, this question. Could it be that for keeping healthy shalom bayis, a husband feels jealous, not crazy jealous? So jealous meaning, so what does it mean jealous? Jealous that means that he loves his wife, and he appreciates her, and and he thinks that somebody else give her attention. So that's healthy. If he does not care, that's not healthy. But the person said not crazy jealous, so it's good, but don't push it. Basically, don't push it because it can get out of the hand. But a little jealous, yeah, that's not a problem, and it's healthy. It's indication that he is not indifferent, which is positive. Not indifferent, double negation. Or could it turn into unbearable? Right. So we have to be careful, right? So don't flirt with anybody. Don't that, right? Because it can get out of hand. But normal jealousy, if it was unintended, and he got jealous, so that's a good sign for a wife that the feelings are still there, which is I think it's amazing. Okay, so next question. Well, the answer that Kavod Harabanim kindly gives us our living oral Torah. Okay, if person in a process of conversion avoids these answers or rejects oral Torah without realizing Chas v'Shalom. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, well, one more time. The answer that Kavod Rabbanim kindly gives us our living oral Torah. Okay, correct, right? So, as somebody told, like in this class that I had earlier, so I don't remember what was exactly the subject. There were many questions, but one thing I said, whatever I said is from the Torah. How do I know it's from the Torah? I don't have any other intake, so I don't learn any Torah material. Period. Zero. So, and all of the sources that I learn, only kosher sources. So if I remember from somewhere, it cannot be from bad sources. Like maybe I don't remember exactly from this book, from we learn in this class and different class, but it's only from kosher sources. Understand? So it's all from oral Torah, written Torah, doesn't matter. So it's all from the Torah when I give the answers. Like right. Sometimes they're based on logic, sometimes, but that's what I say. It's my opinion. I think so. It looks like to me. So that's what I say because it's logic. Okay. So if person in the process of conversion avoids this answer, so meaning that the person gets the answer and say, okay, I don't like it. Right? I have this question: how come people go to the lectures of kosher rabbis? That was the question from today. And they adapt to only whatever they like and throw to the garbage whatever they don't like. So, and I'm not sure. Like I think a person, I'm not sure who asked, but I think it's a genuine question. It's a genuine question, and I think it's a good question. So people have a big ego. So I know better. So yeah, he said this and that. They have to do it. No, let him do it, like his wife do it, like his mother do it. But for me, it's only this and that is good. Like I don't know, like melting the what is it? The metal on top of my head. I don't know like who said that, but it's very interesting. Right. So people reject it. Okay. Rejection oral Torah without realizing. Yes and no. So if it's something like halacha wise, so it is for sure it's rejecting the oral Torah. Some personal advice, so it's also like in a sense it's it's a build on the oral Torah. But if a person is not going to listen, it's rejection. I'm not sure if I would say that it is rejection, but at least the person is shooting in himself in the food. That's the way I see it. So the person is just damaging themselves. That's from my experience. I think I said it many times. People who do not listen, they ask very, very important advice, like life advice, and I gave him. They were not sure, and I asked Rabbi Rubenschlitter to look into it. He did me personally a personal favor, twice or 3 times it was. People did not follow up, even though I explained what I'm doing to them, for them, right? Ask for a personal favor. And guess what? I stopped with this business. because and this like I stopped because why they none of them listened, not to me, not to him. To me, I understand, but to him they did not listen, and they disaster. When until this day, they live miserable lives. How do I know? Fortunately, they asked exactly the same question they were asked 7 years ago. Okay, I mean it's their own business. I'm not judging. Okay, rejection of the Torah, analyze that. So that these people just lose more, right? They had the opportunity to ask the question. They got an answer. They decided they didn't know better. Okay, you know better. You know better. I mean, it's your loss. It's not my loss. I mean, I did my best. I learned the Torah. I was trying to help people, give them advice that I would give to myself. They rejected. I mean, no hard feelings basically. But no hard feelings. But sometimes when people wasted too much of our time and they do not follow, it's a little frustrating. Like if you decide, like if you know better, and you're not planning on listening to this advice, like why would you ask? Like decide whatever you want. We have the clip about it, right? It's stealing, right? When you ask multiple rabbis, but even one rabbi, he asked he or she asked me many questions, and about specific situation. You try to guide them, and they say no, I'm going to go other direction. So go other direction. If you decided before, why you ask me? Why you wasted my time? I mean, still have unfortunately many unanswered text messages. I have to answer. I mean, I just simply do not have time. Some people ask very simple questions, very simple. I can answer without thinking because on top of my mind I can answer. But some question I need to think about it. I need to read the long text two or three times before I can answer these things. Right? So it's just waste of time. So these people, it's their loss. Right. So next question. There are question about modesty. A woman allowed to listen to the Torah shiurim when cooking and wearing short sleeve and short alone. Yes. So again, for a woman, for example, to say blessing, there is no problem. So she can say a blessing with short sleeve and pajamas. There is no problem. She can learn the Torah like that. So it's for her is not considered to be nakedness. So this short sleeve is considered to be nakedness only for a man who looks at a woman, even if it's her husband, when he's need to make a blessing or he needs to say Shema or pray. So that's the only thing. For her it's not nakedness. There is no problem. So she can do a short sleeve, right? And cook and listen to the Torah. But I would say, as I always say, do it like a double run. So don't think if you listen to this lecture one time while you're cooking or do some house chores that it's going to stay in your mind. But if you say do the second run, there is no problem. So one you put like a base, right, like a primer if you're a painter, right, and then you paint on top. So I think it's beneficial. Instead of listening to the music, instead of listening to what other people listening, so for sure it's beneficial. Even if you're not going to remember anything, still it's the Torah is stored on your subconscious, even if you don't pay attention. So it was loud enough, so you were able to ear is able to hear. So Torah stays on your subconscious. So next time when you're going to listen to the same lecture, it's going to come up from your subconscious, and it's not going to be totally new material. It was something that you used to learn before. So that's actually amazing. I always recommend, and I do the same. When I have to do something in the house and manual work. I need to wash dishes. I need to do some things. So I always listen to lectures 100%. Of course, we have to listen to them second time, but absolutely recommend it. Okay. So I think we answered all of the questions. I think so. Okay. So let's stop here. Unless we have more questions, I think. No, that's it. So let's stop here and wish everybody good Shabbos. It was a very successful week. We accomplished a lot. Did the new classes and we prepare a new book. Beezrat HaShem, where we started new book, right? Started new book on this lots of Shabbos home on 39 Melachas, and we should continue from strength to strength and accomplish a lot. So little by little, even this lots of Yichud, we do a little by every day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But you see, we almost 30% of the book through, which is amazing, which is absolutely amazing. Right, and next week I think we're going to stop 10 minutes earlier. Have to double check that, but I think that's the plan. So and we should sleep a little more. Right. So thank you very much. Good Shabbos, and until next week, Beezrat HaShem, I'm going to let you know. I think 10 minutes early, but I will confirm. Thank you.